everyone, it's Cathy Zielske for Scrapbook and Cards today, and I'm really excited to share with you a project that I created for our winter issue's top 10 most wanted items. So let's take a look at how I created this simple card. Starting out today using this plank background from Simon Says Stamp. Now I'm going to use my stamp positioner, and this is a MISTI tool. And with red rubber cling stamps, you need to take the insert out because they are thicker. So you have to peel off the back, and here's how I use background stamps with the MISTI. I like to put the stamp in the MISTI itself. I have just gotten better results by doing it this way. So I'll take my cardstock, and this is just a piece of Neenah Solar White, the Classic Crest 80 pound, and I will put some thermoweb tape on the back to adhere the panel to the MISTI door. See how that works? Now I'm going to remove static with an embossing magic pad. This is a really important step. And I will take my Versamark ink and just start inking this up. Now this is the sticky clear ink, and because I've used that embossing magic, my embossing powder will only stick to the Versamark ink and not to the cardstock itself in places where I don't want it. So I'm going to get this really inked up, and now I will take the cardstock on the door and just press it down. Now because it's taped, it's not going to move, and I'll just bring in a little cloth. I just keep like a Swiffer cloth. This is what I clean up my workspace with, but it's nice because it allows me to slide across on the MISTI and not have to use my fingers and get all sticky and, well, you know. Now, here's one of the bonuses. So because that tape's on the back, when I take it off the door of the MISTI, it actually gives me something to hold on to while I sprinkle my embossing powder on. And this is just some alabaster white powder from Brutus Monroe, but you can see it there. And then I take my folded piece of cardstock and just funnel it right back into my container. Neat and tidy. Now, I've got my heat tool here. I use a Wagner embossing tool, and I get it nice and hot and just hit all of that powder right until it melts and move on to the next section. And now it is all white and melted and shiny and smooth. For my background, I'm using one ink. This is Tumbled Glass. It's a distress ink. And I've got this cool brush called Life Changing Brushes. That's the name of the set. And the reason I wanted to take this brush and this ink is I want to slowly build up color. Very lightly. Now I'm speeding this up because I think it took me a good 5-10 minutes to get all the color on the way I wanted it, but I wanted a very pale look, and this ink is gorgeous when it dries. I just think it's a beautiful color. You can kind of see this nice soft blue, and of course you take the paper towel and wipe off the residue because that white embossed area will resist the ink. Now I'm going to press down another color. This is Broken China, and I'm working on a Tim Holtz media mat, a glass mat. It's kind of cool because you have this little white area off to the side that you can just mix things and play. And I'm getting this darker ink because I just want to flick on some flicks of darker blue. And I thought the Broken China looked pretty good with this, just to create a little interest, because this is a very simple design in terms of it's very quiet, not a lot of color going on. But now I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And I'm going to use VersaFine ink. This is the Onyx Black. It is a very black ink, and what I'm going to do is stamp down the friend sentiment, and I'm going to hit that twice because I want it to be as dark as possible, and this is a really dark ink. And once I stamp it very quickly, I'm going to pour on some clear embossing powder. The reason I'm doing this is because when I heat set this, it will give it some nice shine, a subtle bit of dimension, and really make the word friend pop. Next, I'm going to use the coordinating dies for this particular stamp set to cut out my sentiment. But sometimes with word dies that are designed to cut out stamped words, they're a little tricky to see. So I will create a template. I will cut it out of some cheap cardstock or copy paper, frame it so that I can see exactly how I want it to look, and then you tape it all down and you pop that die right back into the opening, and it just locks into place. And what this will enable you to do is just get a cleaner cut that is outlined better. Does that make sense? Because I have a hard time lining up these dies, and this has really helped. So using templates is a really great idea. Now off camera, I went ahead and cut a little sentiment strip with the words love you using a Simon Says Stamp sentiment banner die set. And it comes with these little notches, and it allows you to create that little fishtail. Very cute. Now I'm trimming my panel down to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And next I'm going to go ahead and score my card base. And this will be a top folding card, 5.5 tall by 4 1/4 wide. And if you ever have trouble with making card bases, Score Buddy is really awesome. Now I'm going to use 2 different adhesives to adhere fun foam. I like using scrapbook adhesives, the sticky runner tape. It is so sticky and it's really quick for popping on some fun foam very quickly. Love to do that. Get it on, it's very quick. But then when I go to put my actual panel on the card base, I like to use a liquid adhesive. And here I've got some liquid adhesive from Lawn Fawn. The reason I like it is because it allows you to move it around a little to get it just where you want it. And here I really want to preserve a nice even margin space. And I'll just take a big old block from close to my heart and set that on until it dries. Now I'm just using a little dot runner here from Gina K Designs and Thermoweb to add on my little sentiment strip. And the sentiment strip is the same color as the background card stock for the card, so I thought that looked kind of cool. But to line things up, I'm bringing in the little T-square because I don't always see everything perfectly. And here I've got some thin foam squares also from scrapbook adhesive to pop up my friend word, just to give it a little bit of dimension. I love those thin foam squares. To finish off the card, I added 5 sequins and just sort of arranged them nicely around the sentiment area to create a little bit of visual interest, but also in a very neutral way. And that's the finished card project. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will try creating a simple monochromatic color scheme and use a big sentiment for one of your next card projects. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again soon with another video for Scrapbook and Cards Today.